Tonight, Sun Devil hockey is rested and recharged after its final bye week of the season. With two-thirds of their schedule behind them, the Sun Devils are focused on knocking down 6 more conference opponents in their remaining 12 games and making a strong push toward the postseason. Hi, everybody. Welcome in to Season 4, Episode 7 of Hell Frozen Over, your source for the latest Sun Devil hockey news and notes. Streaming tonight on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app. I'm Tyler Paley, live from Mullet Arena in Tempe. And joining me tonight and every show this year are Arizona State head coach Greg Powers and my broadcast partner Alex Coil. Coach, let's start with the bye week. I know I ask you this question quite a bit, especially this season, but how was the bye week?
Bye week was good. It was good to have it off and, like you said, rest and recharge, so to speak. And but I think I can speak for everybody, in our room, our players, our staff, everybody that we're excited for the stretch run here as we get into the meat and potatoes of the season, so to speak.
Yeah, it's really the final sprint down the stretch here, so we're excited for it as well. The breaking news early today, and some unfortunate news that we wanted to address right off the top of the show, was you revealed that Cullen Potter will be out for the remainder of the season, scheduled to get surgery this week. Obviously a big blow. I mean, it goes without saying how much of an impact he's had, especially at this time when he started to heat up. Can you expand on what the injury was and kind of where it leaves your team right now?
Yeah, I mean, it was a shoulder, and so it requires surgery, and it is what it is. It was an unfortunate hit, but I think it's important to note, while we didn't love the hit or appreciate it on any level, the shoulder came out before the hit.
Oh.
If you look at the film really closely, wow. It came out before he got hit. Obviously, it affected his ability to protect himself, unfortunately, and I think that's why it was a little worse than what it should have been. But it's hockey, right? It's physical. Guys get hurt. Unfortunately, the two guys that we've had suffer season-ending injuries are really high-end kids that are tremendous players that are difference makers. So it's a bummer in that regard. But like I said today, the only mindset we can have, and the only mindset we do have, is it's a great opportunity for guys to step up. And I'm excited for who's going to step up, and I have full confidence that multiple guys will.
Yeah, on the heels of that, of course, very unfortunate for him, especially the way he was playing. You feel bad for the kid, but the group and the coaching staff, you have a season to continue to finish. Looking at the X's and O's, looking at line charts and matchups, what does that injury and not having him as a part of the group, what does that change?
Well, it's going to look different, and are we still confident that we have more than enough to win and beat anybody? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And what makes him so unique and such a great player is his ability to drive the play and change the game without even scoring because of his speed and just his ability to push the pace and put teams on their heels with how he drives the play. So we're going to miss that. Anybody that has a player like that will miss it. It could be Kyle Smolin that's going to move in between Luce and Shim. And
sure.
In Smolin's defense this year, we've had a really young group with a lot of different movement to find chemistry, and he's been the rock and the leader that we need him to be. And he's been on the left, he's been on the right, he's been on the fourth line, he's been on the third line, the second line, he's been on the first unit, the second unit, he's been on no unit, and he never wavers. He just does what we ask him to do to help the team and help the program, and that's why he's our captain. And this is a kid that scored 30 points in the NCHC. He's a sophomore. He can do it, and I'm excited for him to get this opportunity to play with two of the best players in college hockey, and I have no doubt in my mind he's just going to go out there and be himself. That's the key. Go be yourself. Go be you. Go be what makes you a great player. You're not Cullen Potter, and Cullen Potter's not you. You're different players. But you're good enough to drive the play and help us win games, and I'm confident that he'll do that.
Glowing endorsement, but we've seen it for 3 years now, and I couldn't agree more. Last thing I'll ask you about Potsy, and I will give it to you that you may not have any answer about this, but I feel like it's only relevant to ask. Do you feel like this injury sets him up to come back here next year and be an impactful part during his junior
That's
season?
A strong possibility, Obviously, we're gonna do everything we can and anything we can to get him back.
Sure.
You can make the case that the more seasoning any kid gets before they they move and sign an NHL contract and move on to the highest level to try and get there and make a sustainable career out of it is a good thing. People forget he's still 18 years old, and I personally think that's what he should do. Like I do with every player here, and the ones that have left early and the ones that have stayed, whether it's Josh Stone, Joey DeCord, Josh Maniscalco, whoever, we support them,
Sure.
and it's our job to support them and thank them for whatever time we do get with them. But I'm hopeful that he'll be back. Obviously, that's not what is at the forefront of the conversation right now. It's getting him fixed, getting him healthy, getting him on a road to recovery to make sure no matter where he is next year at the start of the year, he's ready to go and he's fully healthy. So I'm in contact with Calgary and I actually have a call with one of their guys tomorrow, Thursday. Today's Tuesday, and so we'll communicate with them but at the end of the day, we're going to support whatever he does.
And just real quick, he's in high spirits, we hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's disappointed, and that's
Sure.
the biggest disappointment out of this whole scenario for him and Jack, or that it ends their seasons.
Yeah.
The team, the program, we move on, right? And we push forward and we rise to the occasion and fight through the adversity because that's what teams do. And unfortunately, those two guys had their seasons cut short, and our hearts go out to them, and we love them. And I can tell you Becker will absolutely be back, and there's a good chance Potsy will, but we'll see. There's no guarantees yet.
All right. Well, we'll circle back on that one as the season winds down. Do want to move to recapping the one series most recently in the rearview mirror that we want to reflect on, and that's the Miami series, the second series with the Red Hawks after a split up in Oxford back on Halloween weekend. Miami had struggled in NCHC play leading up to that weekend, but some really incredible goaltending by Mateo Drobak led to a 2-1 win in overtime in Game 1. Considering how that game went down, where your team had chance after chance but just couldn't find the back of the net, how important was it to get at least a point from that game?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to fight back and tie it there with Cortsy pounding that puck and scoring a nice goal for us was really good. Obviously, we felt like we deserved to win the game. We felt like we probably could have and should have been up 4 or 5. That kid for Miami was tremendous.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
He
He was square. He was imposing. He was out on top of it. It just seemed like there was no net to shoot at, and if I felt that way watching the game from the bench, I know our guys felt that way. And credit to that kid. In all 4 games against that team, he was so good against us.
Yeah.
In every game. The 4-1 win, he was tremendous. The 4-1 loss, felt like we outplayed him, probably should have won that game. I think out of the 4 games that we played Miami, our last one was probably the one we least deserved to win. But we found a way, and our guy made more saves and was the better goalie on the ice, which against that kid and how well he played against us is really hard to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that second game was pretty ugly in terms of every aspect. Everybody in the building kind of felt frustrated walking out of it, but You guys walked out of it with a regulation win. Big reason why. Sam Urban gets his first collegiate shutout. What has he improved upon most since he stepped on campus?
Just everything. His consistency comes from his consistency that he puts into his craft every single day. He's the first guy here every day. Outside of myself and Leanne and Hicksey, who are always the first here, Herbs is the first player to show up not long after us. He's always in there, putting extra work in on his body with Leanne and doing a million different things. He's a pro's pro, and he's going to get better and better and better and find more consistency in his game because of how consistent he is with everything he does off the ice.
What's your assessment of both your goaltenders right now, and do you envision, if they both continue playing like this, to split time relatively evenly?
It's always going to be a gut, and Has has gotten more time, and has been really, really good for us. Has beat North Dakota when we played him last, so you can expect probably to see him on Friday, and then after that, it's gut feeling. It's going to be hard for me not to go with Herbs because of how well he played against Miami, but it's going to go. It's always based on the gut, and Herbs is going to have his day here starting next year, where he's a full-time guy, and so he's close to that. We know he can do it. He can withstand the rigors of a long season. because of how well he does take care of his body and how great a shape he's in, and how mentally tough he is. So his day is coming very soon.
Yeah, and we're excited to see it. I do want to move on to kind of some bigger picture topics. And being that we only had one series to recap since our last show, can we talk about some kind of bigger picture things, both in the sport and in college athletics? Are you okay with some of these? All right. So the first one is the recent NCAA transfer portal changes in men's hockey. For those who haven't seen it, the portal will now open immediately after the national championship game instead of during regionals. It'll also be open for 15 days, and there are new entitlements for players to enter the portal after a coaching change. Do you think all of these changes help the sport?
I do. I think it's fair. I think if you're a team in the Frozen Four, the last thing that you want to be thinking about is who you're pulling out of the portal.
Yeah.
And it's still, it doesn't matter what the sport is. Like, when you bring a kid in out of the portal to visit, and especially when you're still in season, guys in the room are going, what's going on here? And it's just not healthy. It's not fair to the teams that excel and make it all the way. I think that it should be a level playing ground, and the portal should open after the final game, and now it is. And there's no reason for it to stay open for a month and a half. It doesn't mean a kid has to make their decision within that window, but they have a good, fair 15-day window to decide if they want to move on. And that's plenty of time. It's more than enough time.
And most students do decide within that time frame anyway.
Yeah,
right?
And let's face it, a lot of kids really already know where they're going before they even go into the damn thing.
Yep, that's fair. Another topic I've wanted to really ask you about this all year and just haven't gotten the chance is the concept of having a general manager. We've seen this become more prevalent in college hockey. I know several NCHC programs have a GM. Is this a role that you've considered or would consider adding here at ASU?
No.
Why?
Interesting.
Because it's to me, it's just window dressing. Everybody has a recruiting coordinator. Everybody has guys that are focused on recruiting and building rosters, and we have two of them. And certainly it's something I love to do. It's another name for assistant coach / recruiting coordinator. That's all it is. That's just me, very, very blunt with you.
No, that's fair. I was just curious if that.
It's not this new age, brilliant, out of the box. I'm not putting down teams that have named general managers, but like at the end of the day, no.
It's just a different title.
I think it's really stupid.
Okay.
There will be no Moneyball movies made about an Arizona State hockey GM.
Bummer. I thought we were about to break some news tonight. Not that. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is kind of the state of youth hockey in Arizona. It was announced a few weeks ago that you joined the board of the Matt Schott Legacy Foundation, which, of course, aims to cement youth hockey here in the state. You're also just generally pretty plugged into kind of the state of the sport here in the Valley and beyond. What's your take on hockey's status right now in Arizona?
It's thriving. It's really thriving despite not having the NHL. It began thriving because we had the NHL for 25 years, and it's not going anywhere. We don't have enough ice. That's how much the sport has grown here and how popular it is we need more ice. So I think that's the biggest thing that I would implore to the community is let's find a way to put more ice in the community. But I'm excited. Any way I can help Lindsay in the whole initiative of the Schott Foundation. I was a huge fan of Matt. I was good friends with Matt, and I'm doing it because I know it would mean a lot to Matt if I helped in any way that I could. That's the biggest reason I'm doing it. And I love giving back to the community. I owe a lot to the hockey community. They come and support us. You see youth hockey kids here supporting us all the time. The youth hockey community has given my family so much. My daughter grew up playing AAA boys hockey for the Junior Coyotes, and now she's on a full-ride Division I scholarship at Union. My son is currently in the U15 Junior Coyotes program. He's been there his whole hockey career, and he loves the game, and the game is teaching them and has taught them so many valuable life lessons that they're going to carry with them for the rest of their lives. And without that, they're not who they are today.
Do they listen to you as a coach, or you're just dad?
They do. I don't even go there with them. I would say right now, I give them a little bit when they want it, and my daughter's now playing at obviously a really high level, and so she she bounces stuff off me all the time, and I watch all of her games. But I only give it to them when they want it. I don't ever
That's a good
offer
approach.
it. I just like being a dad.
I like that.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to ask you about is kind of the big picture here at ASU. Specifically, last show we talked about your 5-year extension. Kenny Dillingham recently restructured his contract to remain a Sun Devil for the long term. Willie Bloomquist just received an extension as well. Your good friend, former hockey star J.J. Van Niel, is coming off back-to-back Big 12 championships.
Hockey star?
Hockey star.
I saw him skate the other day. He's no hockey star.
I need to see a clip of that. Molly Miller has her team rolling. All this comes as Graham Rossini approaches 1 year in his role as athletic director, and that's kind of just the tip of the iceberg. When you zoom out on this entire athletic department as a whole, where is Arizona State right now?
I don't know how you can not be excited about everything that's happening here. I mean, all the things you just said. Megan Bartlett had a great year coming off of an NCAA tournament, and I think she's going to have an even stronger team this year. You know, the golf programs are cranking with Therms and Missy. The list goes on and on. So it's a healthy state. We got a lot of great coaches, a lot of great athletes, and some tremendous programs, and it's really exciting to be a part of.
Sun Devil Hockey's work continues this weekend against North Dakota. We have plenty to talk about as we preview ASU's next series, including that one, next 2 series, I should say, including that one coming up in the 3rd period. Coach, appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon. Up next, Sun Devil forward and Arizona native Logan Morrell joins the show, and our conversation is right after this quick break on the Sun Devil Radio Network. Thanks for sticking with us. Second period of Hell Frozen Over. It's our hour-long show talking all things Sun Devil hockey. We're live from the ASU locker room here at Mullet Arena. And our next show after this one is Tuesday, February 4th at 6 p.m. We certainly hope you can tune in then. Last segment, we spoke with Coach Powers about the value of growing hockey in Arizona. And a product of that homegrown talent is current Sun Devil forward Logan Morrell, a Mesa native who transferred back home in the offseason and is already making a big impact for this team. Mo joins us now here on Hell Frozen Over. Great to see you. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Of course. So how was the bye week, really the final bye week of the season before things really get serious here down the stretch?
It was good. Worked really hard, kind of just trying to keep guys healthy. We're kind of dropping like flies right now, so just keeping everyone healthy.
But you're good, right?
Yeah.
No news to break here. All right, that's good news. Zooming out, how much are you enjoying your time as a Sun Devil since transferring here?
I love it. I mean, I've said this many times. This is the only place I ever wanted to play college hockey, so
That's awesome.
I don't take it for granted. I love being here, and I'm happy to grow the program.
That's so exciting. What made you decide to enter the portal in the first place, and how did you, I guess you kind of already answered the second part, but how did you choose ASU, or how did you approach ASU?
It depends. Like, my advisor helped me a lot, but it was more just, like watching ASU from the outside, seeing what they're building, and, I always wanted to be a part of it. And, I had a pretty good year last year, I thought maybe I get an opportunity to come here, so I kind of took the risk to hop in the portal, and it worked out.
Yeah, it certainly did, I would say.
Every time that I chat with you during an intermission, for the TV audience, you always mention that your line is out there to set a tone and out there to play hard, there to be a little nasty. You individually, where does that grit come from? Where's that motivation?
No, it's just I've always had to wear a chip on my sleeve as I play.
Sure.
I've never had the easy way growing up. I've a lot of ups and downs in my career, so I kind of just embrace it. And like for our line, for example, like we're all big guys. We got to play physical. I feel like Cruz can do things I can't do, and I feel like I could do things that Cruz can't do. So it's just kind of playing to your ability and knowing your game.
Was there any sense of disappointment at all when you didn't get to play Michigan Tech in the Desert Hockey Classic?
Yeah, a lot of disappointment, honestly. I have a bunch of buddies on that team. I honestly love the program there. They do a really good job, and I was a little pissed. I wanted to get a revenge game out of the belt.
I was thinking about that the whole time. I was like, this would be, the story would write itself.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple guys in your previous answers, but I'm curious, this team seems so tight-knit, but who have you really kind of connected with on this team specifically?
My roommates for sure. I mean, me and Asher grew up playing together.
Yep. Right.
John Waldron, unbelievable guy.
Yeah.
Sean McGurns, one of my best friends. I mean, we've been here since April together.
Yeah.
We're some of the first guys here. So, but yeah, I mean, everyone, honestly. I mean, the guys are great. I love everyone on the team. So
that's awesome. And it shows on the ice. How easy was it to form those relationships at the beginning?
Super easy. I feel like all hockey guys are kind of the same.
Yeah.
We all kind of gel together. We all love doing the same things, love hanging out. So, yeah.
We talked with Coach Powers, you may have heard, about kind of the value of growing the sport in this state. And as someone from here, is that something you think about? How important is it for youth hockey to kind of be the catalyst for the growth of the sport in Arizona?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we're the only hockey team really now in Arizona, so it's kind of us to continue to help to grow the game, I'd say. So, I mean, I feel like we do a really good job here. Mold Arena is unbelievable, and we're getting a sold-out barn every time we play, so.
I bet you wish you could have had a place like this when you were growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you mostly play?
Probably the ice center. I grew up playing junior Coyotes,
Okay.
Gilbert for a little bit, Oceanside as well.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a big difference from here to Oceanside.
I don't think it's that big. Comparable.
How big though? Like, was I'm sure you went to a bunch of Coyotes games and even maybe at the end, some ASU games at Oceanside. How much of seeing guys on the ice in your home area motivate you to get where you are now?
I mean, it was everything. Like I remember going to the conference final at Gila River when they were playing the Kings. So seeing, the whiteout there, it just makes you want to get better and better and want to be there where those guys are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your impact on the ice this season has certainly included some points, some big goals, power play scoring as well. But it's also, and Alex alluded to this a moment ago, it's also kind of your willingness to lay a hit, do the dirty work, pay the price, as Coach frequently says. Of every series this year, I had to look this up, you averaged the second most time on ice during the Miami weekend, and that's a number that's been increasing as the season has progressed. How much confidence does it give you to see yourself being given more shifts and opportunities to make plays?
That's everything. It's just having someone that believes in you and trusts you on the ice in both offensive and defensive situations. I take a lot of pride on face-offs and the D side of the puck, so it's just contributing any way I can.
Even taking the opening draw of overtime and then coming off to where they got that top line out there. That was, interesting.
And speaking of face-offs, you've been, really nails at the face-off dot all year. Top 20 in the country in face-off wins on a team that's top 15 in the nation. I'm not sure if you know this. Alex and I have talked about this extensively. Face-offs have not been ASU's strong suit for several prior years. But this year, it seems to really be working for you guys. This may be a simple question, but what's the winning approach you take as a center when you're trying to win a draw?
Oh, for me, I like to pre-scout. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I like to watch the other centers ahead of time and kind of see their tendencies. And most of the time when I go into the draw, I know what the guy's doing before the ref drops it.
So you adjust based on who you're facing.
And there's rules in the offensive zone, the defensive zone.
Yeah.
So in the O zone, you get an advantage by putting your twig down second.
Yep.
D zone, you have to put it down first. So it's just little things like that, and you could kind of adjust it.
Do you prefer O zone or D zone draws?
Yeah, O zone's a lot easier.
Okay.
You can kind of see what he's doing first, and the D zone you have to set up first and then try to make a read, so you have less time.
Do you like trying to muck it up and just see if you can get down on the puck and see if somebody can come?
Yeah, it just totally depends on what we're running or what the other guy's doing.
That's really interesting. I didn't, it's such a simple thing when you think about it, but the amount of pre-scout or research that goes into it is fascinating.
Here's the thing that I think would fascinate and does. What are the refs saying before they drop the puck, especially when they take 20 years to actually get the face-off going?
Usually they're just like, you got to put your stick down first, you got to put your stick down second. Just little things like that, or maybe some other stuff I can't say. But
well, because earlier in the year they were really, really tight on draws. That was one of the focal
first
points.
game.
You got kicked out of every one of them. Yeah.
How much of an adjustment was that? As we haven't seen that the rest of the season, but how much of an adjustment was that earlier in the year?
Big adjustment.
Yeah.
For me last year, it was just kind of tap and go. Here they're making you both set and you both go down. So it took me a few games to honestly get into it, but I feel like I've been adjusting well and hopefully just get better and better.
When we talk about the kind of the big picture with Coach Powers, he always tells us how you guys lock in on the one single game ahead of you, which I think is great, and it makes a lot of sense. But you guys also aren't naive to the standings and kind of position you're in right now. How do you balance the one game at a time approach with being realistic about what you guys need to do down the stretch?
Yeah, I feel like the one thing approach is really well, if it's one shift at a time, doing your one thing you need to do at a time, and I know we say all the time everything translates and everything adds up. So if you just continually do the little things, everything's going to pay off and everything will work out.
So it's more of just a long-term strategy
Yeah.
as opposed to worrying about, oh, we didn't win tonight, so we need to win the next 3, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. No, it's all about what's right in front of you.
Now, with that said, how important is it to you and your teammates in this room to really, I guess, pounce on the opportunity that the next 12 games present for you?
It's huge. I mean, I'm not sure North Dakota's exact rank, but I know it's a great opportunity for us this weekend. And then we got CC, St. Cloud. I mean, we say all the time we have one of the hardest schedules in the country, so sets up well for us. If we just go out there and play the way we need to and the way we know we can, we should have a good weekend.
It's fair to say you guys have been battle tested, but now you're going through more battles without some of your big dogs. What gives you the confidence that the depth that we've heard about and seen all season long is going to be able to continue and carry its weight through the rest of this season?
I mean, the good thing about our team is this is by far the deepest team I've ever been on, and kind of just next man up mentality, I feel like. And like I heard Coach Power say earlier, it's kind of the next guy to step up, and we'll see what happens.
And I think like we've seen matchups like one guy plays on the fourth line and then all of a sudden he's up on 2, and there's so many different ways that you can match things up, and everybody's been in a situation this season already where they've had to come through.
Yeah, I feel like, we have guys on the team that play up and down the lineup. Like Mello, for example, who's on the fourth line, and he's on the first line next game. He's a special player, and he's really fun to watch. So, I mean, he's earned it, and he's definitely has the ability.
If Haz and Herbs weren't playing so well, I think Tucker Ness might start in between the pipes. I mean,
you
you just
know.
never
That's
know.
the only
right?
we said it last time, only position he hasn't played.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, and of course I hope we have you on again before the season ends, but if that's not the case, what's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself as a hockey player, as a student, since coming to ASU?
Probably just take it one day at a time, like you got to work for everything here, and it's a super deep team, like I've said, and I feel like I started on the fourth line at the start of the year, and I'm still trying to crawl my way up. So it's just little things add up over time. It's not going to happen right away. So just keep pounding the rock.
12 games to go. Arizona native Logan Morrell, a key part of ASU's success this year. Lucky for us, hopefully for many years to come. We appreciate you spending the evening with us. Go enjoy some pizza, and we will talk to you soon.
I will. Thank you, guys.
When we return to Hell Frozen Over, Coach Powers rejoins the show to preview North Dakota and Colorado College. All that and more coming up next here on the Sun Devil Radio Network. Back in Tempe for the third period, you're listening to Hell Frozen Over, live on the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network from Mullet Arena. And just a reminder, our next show is Tuesday, February 4th, so we hope you make plans to listen to us live here on Fox Sports 910. Coach, we just wrapped up with Logan Morrell. What made you originally want to bring him back home to ASU, and how happy are you that he's here now?
He's such a great story. He's the epitome of what we want here in our program. Local kid, wanted to be a Sun Devil. His development, he's a late bloomer, and he played good high-level AAA hockey, was a really good player for the Junior Coyotes. Always made it clear he really wanted to be here. Had a little bit of a rough go in the USHL, didn't quite stick. Went to the BCHL, did well, but not to the point where maybe it warranted a commitment here. And then there's a coaching change at Michigan Tech, and he went in the portal, and we jumped all over it. He's what we want here. He wants to be here. He's always wanted to be here. Huge credit to him for not having too big of an ego to say, no, you said no to me the first time, not the second time, right? And I said that the first thing I said to him is, hey, if that's the way it is, I get it, no hard feelings, but let me make my case, and we hit it off, and he's an unbelievable kid, great family. I wish I could clone him.
Yeah. Is the line with right now with Powell and Alfano where you kind of always envisioned him? And if not, do you feel like it's working to the point that that's where he'll be the rest of the way?
Mo can play anywhere. He can play up and down the lineup. He can play in every situation. I trust him, 6-on-5. He's usually out there. When we have the goalie pulled to tie it up, he's usually out there first 5-on-6. I think those are the situations that are the barometer if your coach really trusts you. And in all the big moments, he's on the ice, whether it's, to start overtimes and get his possession, whether it's a D-zone draw to get his possession in overtime. He's been out there pretty much in every big situation you can imagine. And his role is going to get bigger, and it's going to grow as he grows with our program. He's only a sophomore. You would never know it sitting down next to the kid because he's just such a mature kid. But we have him for 2 more years. And by the end of his time here, he's going to be he already is a stud, but he's going to be an absolute stud. So really excited about him and his progress throughout the year. And, even though what he said there to end your segment, you know how I get when people talk about where they are in a line chart. What did you say about his ice time?
It's been steadily increasing over the season, and it's the second highest in that Miami series.
Second highest in that Miami series, and I think if you looked at the season, he'd be easily in the top 4.
Augustana was the only one where he was on the ice more.
So he's getting nice because I really like him as a player and I trust him, and it's just going to increase the more and more he's here.
How valuable is it to have guys like that, especially in the league, the way it's constructed? Like, everybody loves the highly skilled, high draft pick guys. Not to say he doesn't have skill, but the internally motivated, I'm going to make the game nasty if that's my role, to the identity of a team. And
you win with guys like Logan Morrell. Those are the guys you win with, and they bring you sustainable success. Once guys like him find that consistent approach to the identity that they have to play with, that's when your team really starts to go. His line is our identity line. As good as the Potter, Shimmick, Lucius line has been from an output standpoint and point standpoint, all that stuff, and the skill and talent that they have. If you look at, the big wins that we've had, and arguably the biggest was at North Dakota, that line was our best line. They drove the play all night and did some unbelievable things. That was really their first night together where they kind of had the coming out party, and we haven't switched it since. The other two are the same. We go as they go. And when they put pucks in and they forecheck and they're finishing checks and they're hard to play against, everything just seems to fall into place for us.
Worked in that Saturday game against Miami. They got the lone goal of that one. That was fun to watch. Time for our weekly injury update. So we covered Cullen Potter back in the first segment. I know we need to talk about Bennett Shimmick, Lincoln Keene. Is there anyone else you can give an update?
Yeah, no, I think we're anticipating that Lincoln will be available. We're anticipating that Johnny Waldron will be available. We are hopeful that Shim will be available. We really won't know for sure until Friday. So he practiced today. He looked great. He feels great. So we're hoping that progression leads to him being cleared for us to play him Friday. And I think that covers everybody. I think the 2 guys that we know are out, indefinitely are Potsy and Becker.
With that said, you had Hunter Mullet out on the ice earlier today as well. Is that really just to add a little bit of depth to make sure that you guys are able to field the team?
It's a practice body. It's Hunter's he's been with us all season.
Yeah.
It's in different roles on and off the ice. He's a part of our program. His family's a part of our program, and we needed, but we were so decimated the last 10 days. It affects practice. It affects your ability to do what you want in practice. It changes the way you plan and design your practices because you can't lose any more bodies in practice. So Hunter's just a selfless kid and loves the program and loves putting on the skates and being with the boys, and he's been great to have out there.
I think Tyler's up next. He's ready to skate tomorrow.
Trust me. Yeah. If you want literally just a body, I'm your guy.
And I'm retiring tomorrow.
Noted. With 2/3 of the season behind us, and I always have to pinch myself when I say that because this season, it takes forever, but it just flies by. I think, and please tell me if you disagree, but I think it's still too early for any series to be do or die. But it's also true that the runway is quickly getting shorter. Mm-hmm. A loss may not be the end of the world, but it's also one fewer opportunity to earn 3 points, make a push in the NPI and the conference standings. How, as a coach, and I ask something similar to Logan Morrell, are you balancing the one game at a time approach with the reality that there is simply not a lot of room for error left?
We've been honest with our guys about the NPI and what weekends can do for us really since Duluth. And they seem to have really taken to that. They're all smart kids. You can't hide the information from them. It's too readily available. And so, I think that the wise thing to do is to talk about it, and to lay out what the opportunity is in front of us and what games mean and what's at stake. I think that raises the level of awareness and intensity and everything. So at the end of the day, it is one game at a time. At the end of the day, it's 3 points at a time. But man, what a win Friday would do for us in the MPI would be huge. And our guys know they can do it. They know it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be hard. These guys are a hell of a team. So it's going to be a battle.
Is that something you feel like you have to use? When you say you mention it, is that something you're using as motivation to go into a week, or is it just simply
it's just
taking
like,
the elephant
boys,
out of the room?
This is what the opportunity is in front of
Sure.
us. With the win, this is where we're probably going to be. And the challenge going into Duluth was we're not where we want to be, but holy crap, if we can go 3-1, this is where we're going to end up.
Yeah.
And you could argue we probably should have went 2-2 when we really climbed. But so it was important for them. And it's important for them to see, hey, holy, we're right there. We're right there. The light at the end of the tunnel is not bleak. It's bright. And like I said today, I think in media availability, we're not just within striking distance. Like, we are right there. The razor thin margin between right now 14 and 24 is you can't even measure.
Minuscule.
It's so minimal. And when you're playing teams like we are,
Exactly.
North Dakota and all the great teams we have left on the schedule, you have to look at it as opportunity, because that's exactly what it is. And if we can duplicate, the last whatever it was, 11, 15-ish games and do the same, I think we're gonna have a really good chance.
Well, you touched on an important point that I want to ask you about, because mathematically, everything is still in front of you. A tournament berth, top 4 seed in the NCHC playoffs, technically the Penrose Cup. All of those things require a very strong finish in your final 12 games. I started playing around with the what if ASU wins here, loses here, splits here, sweeps here, and there are still so many possible outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your take on the current status and what your team absolutely needs to do from here on out?
We just need to stack wins, and we've had trouble securing sweeps this year. Let's call a spade, and we're going to have to get some sweeps if we want to get there. We're going to have to get some sweeps here down the stretch. We have North Dakota, St. Cloud, Omaha, all left at home. We have to take care of home ice, and we got to go get some wins on the road. It's pretty simple.
Let's dive into the next series ahead. You have North Dakota coming to town, top 5 NPI team who you split with up in Grand Forks back in November. That Saturday game led your team on a fantastic streak, really up to now. What do we need to be reminded of about North Dakota?
Great goaltending. The freshman is playing unbelievable, and we know the other guy can really play when he's hot too, and Gibby. In my opinion, probably the best and deepest D-core in college hockey. Anything you'd want on a D-core they have back there, whether it's a big shutdown two-way guy like Smolik or a kid that can fly around and kind of drive the play from the back end like Jake Livanovich, to Verhoff obviously is going to be a number 1, number 2 overall pick, and Abram Weeby's an unbelievable player. Like they're just it's a spoils of riches on the back end, and then their forward group is really good and really deep too. So they're done a great job, and Dane and his staff building their team, and it's a hell of a program. It's a hell of a program. It was great to get up there this year for the first time and see the Ralph and play in the Ralph and experience the Ralph, and we have a ton of respect for him.
Early in the season, and rightfully so, it's always, we got to worry about us as opposed to who we're playing and finding our identity. At this point in the season, where is the balance of scouting and preparing for North Dakota versus getting your form in the right direction?
Honestly, like, it's going to sound cliche, like we're focused on Friday night,
Sure.
it's it, and we're always more focused on us and doing what we need to do. Our look is going to be different without Potsy. It doesn't mean it's going to be worse. It doesn't mean it's not going to work, but it's going to be different. And so we're really focused on what we need to do to win. Even when we show, pre-scouts and video of other teams, it's never about like, hey, let's be careful, let's beware of this, and this. It's here's where their tendencies are. Here's where we think we can exploit them. Here's what we do well that can beat them, and this is how we're going to win. So it's always a focus on us. It's always a focus on what we can do to be the best versions of ourselves, to play to our standard, to play to our identity, and have success.
Last one before we head to a quick break. When we're sitting here 2 weeks from now, we will have just gotten back from Colorado Springs for a 2-game series with CC. Aside from hopefully 4 more wins, what do you hope to see the biggest improvement you see from your team in the next 2 weeks?
Again, just the ability to play to that identity and standard that we have very often, but just not consistent enough, and we haven't found that really good consistency. It's so hard to sweep in college hockey. And this team, it's a young team. They have learned that the hard way this year. We've obviously won the Desert Classic. We won the Icebreaker, but those are 2 different teams on 2 different nights. And then I think the only sweep's Ohio State, and that was in overtime both nights. Yeah. So it's a difficult task. It's what makes college hockey so special is the back-to-back, and the team that loses on Friday is pissed off, and they come out and you see the best version of whoever they are no matter what. So it's hard to do, and really, really elite teams can do it consistently. And really good teams rarely lose 2 in a row. And everybody's good.
Sure. Yeah.
Everybody, we have learned that this year. Everybody is good. Coach Greg Powers with the latest here on Hell Frozen Over. His Sun Devils hit the ice Friday and Saturday at home against North Dakota. You'll hear from him on our pregame show on Friday beginning at 6:30. Appreciate you always, sir. We'll chat with you on Friday.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, sir.
3 periods down, much more to come. Overtime is next. Alex and I will chat more about the NCHC standings and much more. Hell Frozen Over back in just a moment here on the Sun Devil Radio Network. Back at the Mullet for overtime here on Hell Frozen Over. Tyler Paley, Alex Coil. 2/3 of the season down, my friend, if you can believe it. We've reached the time of year where you and I are texting each other seemingly every day about different scenarios that put ASU within reach of the tournament. And yet, with 12 games to go, it's frankly impossible to know what scenario we will be in 6 weeks from now.
Yeah, I mean, we were texting after every single result came in this week, and it dropped down to 25, to 26, now to 23 after, not playing a game. So it's always entertaining to watch, especially some of the results around college hockey that you don't control.
This is the best time of year. I mean, it's a bummer in terms of ASU that it's so important to scoreboard watch right now, but at the same time, it makes it that much more fun.
It's better than the alternative of being, not in a conference like, the couple seasons past where it's like, it's out, you're done, everybody's hurt. You might as well mail it in. No, a lot of things matter now.
A lot of things matter, and you always have the conference tournament,
Correct.
Which is great. The team, of course, is focused on one game at a time, as they should be. But I think it's only fair to be realistic with fans about kind of the outlook. Simply put, and I think you and I both agree on this, splitting series, going 6-6 the rest of the way, it leaves you right where you are now, probably right in the low 20s in the NPI. Sweeping a team like CC in 2 weeks, I was playing around with College Hockey News, their customizer. Mm-hmm. If you sweep them, it's actually more valuable than a North Dakota sweep because it would be on the road.
Sure.
And you still have Western Michigan and Denver on the horizon, both road series. I guess what's your take on how the next 12 games need to play out?
Well, I think your point about 6-6, this isn't football. You don't have to just go 500 to get rewarded with the postseason.
True.
Only 16 teams make it. And the bulk of that are conference champions. So you have to truly earn. And to what Coach said, like you have to you have to be able to earn your way into the tournament too. So 6-6 mathematically isn't going to be worth it, but it also probably didn't earn it. So if you go through this run and make some headway, like you've played your last 15 games, you're going to earn yourself a spot in the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Is look, a team that goes 6-6 over the next 12 probably has not earned.
You've beaten some really good teams, but you put
so have other
teams,
right? So have other teams. In your mind, and I've waffled back and forth on this to be fully transparent, but in your mind, do home ice advantage in the NCHC tournament and an NCAA tournament berth go hand in hand?
No.
Okay.
Here's why. Because if you're a bubble team, right? So if Arizona State hosts is in the top 4, they would have already earned themselves in. That's what I'll say. But if they're not, that provides 3 more opportunities to get a quality road win over high-valued NPI
because they do
teams.
count in the NPI.
Right, so if you're anywhere near the bubble come quarterfinal time, you feel really good because you have opportunities to, again, prove that you've earned your way in. I will say, though, the series against North Dakota, Western Michigan, Denver, great opportunities. Most important series of the rest of the year, St. Cloud, because that's a team that you're fighting with on the bubble.
Yeah, they are right there. Last I checked, they're either right ahead or right behind.
I believe they're 19
ASU.
right now.
Yeah, so just a couple spots ahead. And I think you're right. I mean, mathematically, not necessarily do those two things go hand in hand, but it feels like ASU needs a strong enough finish to make the NCAA tournament that would also make them a top 14 seed.
Sure. And again, like with 12 left, like you can lose one here and beat this team, and that kind of changes the comparisons. But you know, you've played North Dakota, you get St. Cloud at home, you get Omaha at home, a team that is, you know, you can't take them lightly, but they're at the bottom of the NCHC standings. If you can take care of business at home, then those road series really just quadruple their output if you do get a win at a Western or a Denver.
I think we're going to learn a lot about this team over the next
You're
few
going to
weeks.
have to, because especially when you're without 2 of your best offensive firepower options.
Yeah, optimistic though.
100%.
I'm very much optimistic. Some recent news announced last week. Both ASU goalies are on the Richter Award watch list for best netminder in the country. We've seen some good ones this year. I'm thinking about the 2 we saw up at Dartmouth, but Herbs and Has, I think, definitely deserve to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, so they're the Arizona State is the only team in the conference to have 2, one of 5 to have at least 1 on there, and I believe the number is there's only 3 teams in the country that have their tandem both on that award list, and that's just a refreshing problem to have good goaltending that you can rely on, because in seasons past it's been great at times, but it just has not been as consistent as this group is.
Yeah, and those 2 have been really remarkable, especially as the season has kind of come down the stretch. Up next, North Dakota, good, well-rounded team, top 5 in the country, fan base travels well. Dane Jackson has them playing and really rolling in their first year. What's your prediction for the series?
Well, a prediction for the series, like, it could go a bunch of ways. Like, I think it's, split. This is the easy way out of every series going forward. But if you remember back heading into after the Friday loss into the Saturday, the test to the team was identity, toughness. Are you tough enough to compete in this league? And then that third line came out there, set a tone, and decided the identity for the team. This is an identity weekend, right? Of course, the Stars are going to have to do their thing, but it's an identity and toughness weekend if you're going to come out on top.
Well, final third of the season starts this weekend against North Dakota. We hope you can join us. 7 p.m. puck drop Friday, 5 p.m. Saturday. You can watch both on NCHC TV and Fox 10 locally, or listen here on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app. Pre-game coverage begins 30 minutes prior to puck drop. Our thanks tonight to Sun Devil hockey head coach Greg Powers and Logan Morrell for joining us. Also to Sean Crespin and his entire crew for all their help. We'll talk to you Friday, 6:30, ASU and North Dakota. Until then, I'm Tyler Paley for Alex Coil. Good night, everybody.